Welcome to another episode of Are You Really Living podcast. I'm thrilled to introduce Dr. Bonhomme, visionary founder and CEO of Feedcoyote, a revolutionary global collaboration network platform designed to help freelancers maximize their earnings through teamwork. With a master's degree in applied economics and a doctorate in business, Dr. Bonhomme brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. He's a former Microsoft employee and currently serves as an adjunct professor of business. Dr. Bonhomme's mission with Feedcoyote is to eliminate the loneliness often associated with freelance work and combat economic isolation. His inspiring journey from Haiti to the United States is a testament to his belief in education as the great equalizer. Dr. Bonhomme consistently encourages others to pursue excellence in all their endeavors. Join us as we delve into his remarkable story and the innovative ways he's transforming the freelance landscape. Let's welcome our host, Mr. Enrio Longchamp, and our guest, Dr. Bonhomme.
Hello, listeners. I would like to welcome you all to another episode of Are You Really Living? Today's guest, Mr. Bonhomme. He is an entrepreneur. His story is just fascinating. So he had to stop by Are You Really Living so we can talk about what he's been up to. Mr. Bonhomme, how are you? I'm sorry. Dr. Bonhomme. How are you
Yeah,
today?
I'm doing pretty well, in Rio. Thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate the fact that I can be here today and talk a little bit about what we've been doing and in any way that we can help others be inspired by the story and whatever we can do. So yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Take me back 10 years ago. What were you doing?
10 years ago, I was basically in Haiti during this time, 2013. So I was just probably getting ready to move to the US. Yeah, I moved to the US like 10 years ago in 2013. So I was what we call in the Haitian community a just come.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved here, lived in Florida during that time, just really getting used to the system, understanding the new country that I moved to, and trying to get my footings out there and see how I can take advantage of all the opportunities that this country offers, and from there, a lot of things happened over the years.
I remember you from Miami-Dade College. That's where we met. At
Yeah,
that time, you had the opportunity to become the vice president of the Haitian student organization on campus,
yeah.
called EBO. What inspired you to join the board, the executive board for the Haitian organization at Miami-Dade at that time?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically the community. When I first moved here, I started going to Miami-Dade College, North Campus primarily. I wanted to be part of the community. I wanted to be part of all the organizations on campus, primarily the Haitian ones, because I wanted to be connected to my roots and also be connected to other folks in the community that was doing great things. Because at that time, I did not speak English whatsoever. I also wanted to talk to people so that I can learn. So that's how I got involved with the Haitian Igbo Club. And I was honored and fortunate enough to be elected vice president. And we were able to really continue with our legacy and expand the Haitian roots to the Haitian diaspora here. And it was a great time. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of great people. I have great friends from that time. And I learned a lot too. I basically learned English during that time by talking to other folks that lived here prior to me moving. And that kind of how I started, basically.
From Miami-Dade, you graduated. Take me to the next step. Where did
Oh
you
man.
transfer to?
Oh, now we getting into the real things. A lot happened since I graduated from Miami-Dade College. When I was attending Miami-Dade College, I was studying economics because I always wanted to be an economist, because I always wanted to understand the economic factors and also use my knowledge, because initially I wanted to go back to Haiti and be part of the government and help with the economic development of the country. That was why I primarily studied economics. It was purposeful. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was fortunate enough to get a full ride scholarship to attend Tuskegee University in Alabama, which is a program they had in partnership with Miami-Dade College. I moved to Alabama not knowing anybody there because, again, it was a full ride. So I was like, why not? And continued with my studies in economics, got a bachelor's in economics in Alabama, which I achieved in a little bit over 11 months because I was able to continue with the CLEP system that Miami-Dade had, where you just take final exams and pass them and get the credits without having to attend the classes. So I was able to save a lot of time like that. And from there, I remember when I was attending Tuskegee University, there was a grad school fair on campus, and there was a lot of schools present that day. And I started talking to a few of them. So I wanted to explore some opportunities to go to grad school. And I talked to a few, and I got some brochures, and I applied to a few PhD programs during that time. And I was fortunate to be accepted into most of the ones that I applied for. And I decided to attend Western Michigan University for a PhD in economics, or applied economics to be more specific, and then moved from Alabama to Michigan, where I started my PhD in applied economics. And from there, I graduated with a master's in applied economics and realized that I wanted to become more of a, how do I say it, more of an entrepreneur, more of a practitioner instead of a professor and teaching theories. So that's when I decided to transition from a PhD in applied economics to a PhD in business instead, so that I can have that practical experience. And I transferred into that new program. And when I was doing that program, I was looking for a way to launch my career. And then I was fortunate again to get a job at Microsoft. And then because I could speak French, of my French background for being born and raised in Haiti, then I was in charge of the Canadian market at that time for what we call today Microsoft Ads. So I got a job at Microsoft, and then I was asked to relocate to Fargo, North Dakota, which I didn't know about at that time because it was like a city that's really somewhere, in North Dakota. So I moved from Michigan to North Dakota for Microsoft, worked there for a couple of years, and got promoted to another position. And they transferred me again to Seattle, where I work at the headquarters. And during that time, I graduated with my PhD in business. And from there, it was, living the dream, going through the opportunities and trying to see what next I can achieve and accomplish.
So much to unpack here. So much to unpack. I don't even know where to start. Now, how important do you believe education is? Because throughout your journey of what you just explained, to me, my takeaway is education got you to be where you are today. Education got you to open all those doors. So how important is education for you?
Definitely very important, because when I moved here, if we go back a little bit, in Haiti, usually education is the only way out. That's the mentality I've had when I was growing up in Haiti. You need to be educated, otherwise it's going to be much harder for you to penetrate any market or any labor market or job market, whatever. So I was always interested in pursuing higher education. I always wanted to get any opportunity and take advantage of them. So that's why anything that I studied during my college years, it was on purpose, because I knew what I wanted to do with what I studied. So I did not want to take anything for granted, because I knew that education, if anything, will open doors for me that it wouldn't have been possible without it. So definitely, I think being educated, I mean, that could mean a lot of things, being educated, but most likely in this context is basically going to college and have a college degree if, possible, or as much as you can study something that's relevant and practical in today's world and the kind of technology that's advancing and the kind of labor market that we have today. So study something that you can utilize tomorrow. I think it's very important.
Now, if somebody, one of my listeners listening to you now and is currently in school and is finding it a little hard in terms, the material they're studying and not knowing what's going to happen next, what advice would you have for them?
Keep pushing. I mean, I usually tell people study something that you're passionate about, which is an advice that I did not get, unfortunately, when I first moved to the US. I'm not sure if it's a lot of things here that we can consider, but when I moved here, people around me or people in the Haitian community, they wanted me to go with the statu quo and like study something that in their mind or their perception would have opened doors or giving me some kind of job security, which was not necessarily something that I liked. I could have done it, but I don't think I would have been good at it because I just didn't like it. But I followed my my passion. I did my research, of course, to see what that field would, yield in the future. But most importantly, I followed my passion. So I studied economics and business because I loved it. There's nothing else that I would have done in life but economics and business. And because of that, it was easier for me to go to through the struggles because I loved what I was studying. Like if I was studying something that I didn't like, maybe I would have quit along the way. But because I loved what I was studying, even though it was hard, I kept pushing because I knew eventually I would get where I wanted to be in life with what I studied. So the advice would be basically first start by studying something that you like, something that you have a passion for, because when the hard times come, you will find the strength within yourself to continue. And then anything or everything is temporary. Like if you're going through a hard time right now, find the strength to push through because eventually you're gonna come out of it and you're gonna see the brighter side.
Let's talk about economics really quickly.
Yeah.
For the people who don't understand inflation, especially what's going on now, based on your experience, do you think we will see or we will get some relief in terms of the inflation that's going on right now, or how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, there are what we call economic cycles, up and downs, basically. So anything that's happening right now is not permanent, it's not forever, it's just a cycle based on economic factors. So what's currently going on right now is definitely going to pass, so that there's going to be a period of progress, and then you're going to have another period of hardships. That's basically how the economic hardships work. So whatever's going on right now, people just have to, find a way to power through it because it's not going to last forever.
Now, is it the same? I don't know if you could answer that question. And is it the same in terms of the housing market as well?
It's because it's all related to the demand and the supply at the same time, right? So finding a way to support whatever demand is going on, or if there's not enough ask for that supply, so then there's going to be some hardship from the buyers or from the sellers. So, but when everybody is meeting at the equilibrium, then there's that more stable situation. So whatever market is, even if the job market right now also, there's been a lot of layoffs and a lot of things, but it's not always going to be like that because it's that economic cycle that's requiring to have the layoffs so that those companies could be sustainable during this period. But eventually, as things go back up, they will be able to rehire those people and continue with their growth.
What do you think, or how do you see the future when it comes to artificial intelligence?
I mean, I think it's a very hot conversation right now because of all the progress in AI. But I think that's something that people need to embrace because with all the breakthroughs now, it's not going away anytime soon. I know there's been a lot of hype in the tech industry with NFTs, with cryptos, and all these things. But I think AI, with the progress that we've made so far, mostly with the biggest breakthrough with ChatGPT and other kind of generative AI. So I think it's something that's here to stay, and it's going to become better and better as we continue to study it, as we continue to implement more models. It will definitely be a skill set in the future that people, if they could start learning it now, because I think the job market will be heavily relying on AI. So if you're in school right now, or if you're studying, whatever you're studying, so trying to learn as much as you can about how that works, because it's going to be very much needed in the future if you want to secure any kind of position, or if you want to launch your own company. You will probably need to include AI in your product to make it more efficient for your customer base.
One of the other reason you're here as well is because not only your story is very inspirational, is also you started your own startup.
Yeah.
You started your own company. You were working for Microsoft, like you mentioned. You were making enough money, like we will say you were comfortable.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
most people will say, why would you go and start your own business and start this headache? Because at the end of the day, when you're first starting out, it is a lot of work, it is a headache. So
Mhm.
the question is, why?
I've always looked for purpose in life. I always wanted to do something to build a legacy. I mean, obviously, I could have stayed at Microsoft, make good money, be comfortable, but I wanted more. I wanted to achieve more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to help more people. At my job, I was helping as much as I can, but I was not helping at a scale that I wanted to help. So with a company, I can help in a few ways. I can, create jobs and help more people. I can build a product that helps more customers. I can provide a service to businesses that allows them to make more money in their own organization. So this is something that I was always interested in. That's why, again, going back to studying economics, it was on purpose. So, I mean, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work at Microsoft, to meet a lot of people, to understand tech, but it was the time for me to get to the next level, to do something that would be a legacy for me, or if anything, just to try, because at the end of the day, all you can do is try and learn as you go. But my why basically is because I wanted to change an industry. I wanted to provide something that other people could use and that could make their lives better. So that's why we're building what we're currently building right now.
Congratulations, congratulations. Very, very proud of
Thank
you.
you.
Now
Appreciate it.
let's talk about this business. The
Yeah.
website is feedcoyote.com. How did you come up with that name? And also,
Oh my gosh, that never fails. I always have this question every single time, whether I'm talking to an investor or I'm pitching at a competition, there's always that question, the name. I mean, there's a short version, there's a long version, but I will give you the meaning behind the name. Feed in itself is a flow of information. Coyote is a very fiercely animal, just like freelancers that we're servicing. They are always grinding, they are always out there bettering themselves and putting themselves out there, getting more opportunities. So Feed Coyote is the streamline of flow of information to help freelancers be better, work better, and make more money faster. So that's the meaning behind the name. But the origin of the name is kind of a whole other funny story, but let's stay with the meaning.
that makes sense. It makes sense. Let's talk about the platform. What exactly one can do with this platform? Let's say I sign up for it. What do I gain from it? What is it for? What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, Feed Coyote is a collaboration network platform that is available as a web app, as a mobile app on iOS, also in Android. So what we're trying to do is we're empowering freelancers to make more money together through teamwork. So we allow them to come on the platform, find a community of support and guidance where they can learn about freelancing, they can better their skill sets, but they also primarily can collaborate on projects, build teams so that they can take on more projects, whether they lack bandwidth or complementary skills, so that then they can increase their earning potential. Initially, what we want to do here is taking loneliness out of freelance work and then facilitate earning potential increase for freelancers, because freelancers tend to work in silos. They have to work and using multiple platforms to be productive, and sometimes that's just taking away their productivity. That takes away their earning potential. So we want to streamline the whole process for them, from learning, from connecting and networking, to collaborating, to managing everything in one place. So on Feed Coyote, you have a network that sits on top of a whole entire suite of management tools, from sending contracts, centralized communication, all the way to payment processing, so that as a freelancer, you can go out there, do what you do best, which is servicing your customers, and then have Feed Coyote in the back end running your business for you.
Perfect. How long have you guys been online?
We launched our very first version last summer, but prior to that, we were building the platform, coding, getting the apps out there. But we've been live for a little bit over a year now, but we've had a lot of versions during that time. So we are currently on the third version of the app, which is the most optimal version right now. But of course, we are still innovating and still building and adding more features as we move forward.
I'm definitely going to be going with your app for sure. I know you. I know the company's going to grow. Now, what is the difference between yours and the other competitor that are out there?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few platforms operating within the freelance industry, but most of them usually tend to go from a marketplace perspective, a one-off service where you find a client, where you find a customer, you do a project for them, and that's it. On Feed Coyote is the continuous learning and the continuous opportunity for collaboration among freelancers, which is completely different from other marketplaces. So we give you the network, we give you the opportunity to learn, and we also give you the opportunity to partner up on projects with other people, which allows you to take on more projects and make more money faster as a community. So typically is the community aspect that we provide that other platforms don't have.
And currently, are you only operating in the US, or are you also global?
We are a global platform. We have customers from over 120 countries. As of today, our plan is to have customers in every single country in the world. We're growing massively right now, adding thousands of people every week. So I'm very excited about the growth that we've been experiencing. We've done a lot of great things this year. We've won a lot of startup competitions. We are venture backed. We are a Techstars portfolio company, which is extremely hard to do. It's kind of like a mark of validation. Techstars is the largest pre-seed investor in the world. It's harder to get into Techstars than to get into Harvard University, just to put that into perspective as a startup. So we were able to achieve that. So yeah, so we're on a roll right now. We're growing very fast and we're adding more users every single day. We are building, we're innovating, and We just we're transforming the freelance industry.
I am beyond proud of you because
Thank
I
you.
remember I remember clearly when we first met back 2013,
Yeah, a
14 in
while back.
Miami-Dade. Election when you were elected VP, I was there. Those
Yeah,
banquets, I was there. So I am excited, beyond excited for you,
thank you. Appreciate that.
and for to see and understand where you came from in terms of the hard work you had to put in to be where you are today is very inspirational.
Thank you. I'm
Extremely,
trying. That's all we can do, right? You gotta
extremely
try.
inspirational. Now, in reference to I believe there is a check that you posted recently that you received from a competition.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yes, I was very fortunate to win all the major startup competitions this year in the state of Kentucky, which is something very hard to do. Basically, we've participated and competed against hundreds of companies, and in the end, we always came up first, and so that was awesome. The latest competition, by the way, I have another competition next week too, but the last one that I won was from the Render competition, which is one of the top VC firms in Kentucky. The investment was $100,000 as first position in the competition, and there were over 200 applications, 200 companies competing against our concept, and we are able to win that, which was tremendous for our growth because that funding is definitely helping a lot with expanding our brand awareness, and also expanding our user base. So yeah, so it was awesome. But I'm beyond even the checks or the money that we're receiving during competition is the ability to talk about what we're doing at Feedcoyote, to be able to share our journey, our passion with other folks, other entrepreneurs in the room most of the time. So I mean, I'm just grateful that I have a platform where I can talk about what I do, because it's not always given to, as an entrepreneur, to find that kind of platform to talk about something that you're building. So I'm always grateful for any opportunity that I'm given for, any kind of pitch competition.
When you made that jump from working to Microsoft to going on your own, what
Yeah.
was your biggest fear?
Job security, income stability, basically failing and having to go back to corporate America. I mean, which is in itself not bad, but it's just like, at first I left a very comfortable job, as we mentioned earlier, to do this thing. I don't want to fail. I know 9 out of 10 startup fails and all that, but when you leave that kind of job and you go out there, you have to put in the work to really make it work, because otherwise, why, So it was hard. I mean, I thought about it a lot before I quit. But I don't regret it, because the amount of progress that I was able to make over the last few months, I don't think that would have been possible if I was still working at Microsoft. The gig at Microsoft in itself was pretty dope. I learned a lot, worked with a lot of cool clients and cool people, but being able to learn every day to build a company myself, that experience and knowledge is invaluable. And I'm glad that I did. But again, I mean, if you want to do that, you got to make sure that, I mean, I don't want to say like a safety net, because if you have a safety net, then you might not give your very best, because you think, hey, I have something waiting for me if I fail. But if you know you don't have anything else, you don't have any other choice but succeeding. So I would say evaluate the risk, know what you're trying to build, do your market research. Don't just jump, because you got to build something that people want and eventually will pay for. And then once you are sure of all your calculation, take a risk, take a chance on yourself, because at the end of the day, if it's not now, when,
You couldn't have said it better. If it's not now, when?
Yeah.
Where do you see Coyote in the next 5 years?
Oh, we're gonna take this thing all the way up, like all the way, because I'm out of Microsoft. I'm grinding out there every day. So there's no turning back. So in the next few years, we will have millions of users. The company will be generating a lot of money. We'll be able to expand our labor force, get more people to join our team. I mean, I want this company to become a public company. I want to put this out there. I want to put it in the universe. I want this at some point in time in the future for you to be able to buy stocks of Feedcoyote on the stock market, So that's the goal. But of course, we have other strategies that we'll be evaluating along the way. But I want to take all the way to IPO if possible.
I mean, it will happen. It will happen. Now, currently, what is the structure? I know you are the head CEO, founder.
Yeah.
What is your structure right now?
We have a really dynamic team right now. I'm the founder and CEO. I have a co-founder and CTO, another co-founder and COO. We are the leadership team right now, but we have other folks working with us. We have a technical team. We have project managers. We have growth marketers. We are building our marketing department right now. We have a lot of other folks working with us on the product. So, I mean, we're just adding people as we move forward, as we grow our user base, as we receive more investment, as we generate more revenue. We're just going to keep adding more people and build a great culture within the company, a culture of excellence, a culture of innovation, and then keep, innovating and making progress.
I don't know if you could make that commitment to Are You Really Living, my podcast, that every December you could come by and then you talk about how the year went. I think that will be very nice, and I will
I would
greatly
love to.
appreciate.
I would love to,
I will
because that
greatly
would mean
appreciate
that
it. Yeah.
that would mean that the podcast is growing and Feedcoyote is still in business. So,
Yeah. So
I would love.
I'm definitely looking forward for December 2024 for you to come by so we
Me
can
too,
have
actually.
another conversation on how you grew during the year. What was the number again in terms of how many countries you in right now? 100 and
Right now, we are in over 120 countries. Our goal is to be
120.
in every single country in the world. But in terms of numbers, our user base now has over 10,000 active users. So I want to hold myself accountable for next December to see how much we were able to grow from 10,000 plus users to next December. So I want to, when next time we talk about that again in the podcast, I want to see how many users we're able to add from our current user base right now.
Absolutely. So this December, we are talking right now, December 2023, we are at 10,000 users, over
Yeah.
120 countries.
Yeah.
And I look forward again for us to talk December 2024.
Yeah.
And the number of users will be, let's say, quadruple,
I hope
or
so. I
even
hope so.
more. And
Yeah.
then the number of, in terms of the number of countries you're operating in, will be even double.
I hope so too.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the goal. That's the goal. That's the
This
goal.
is the goal. I mean, I think we are really making a good stride right now, because right now Feedcoyote is very popular in India and Africa. So that's one of the two markets where we're really seeing a lot of growth. So definitely we're going to be penetrating more markets. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what December 2024 will bring. So yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention, you were also a professor.
Yeah, yeah. I used to teach project management at a university in Seattle.
Okay. And then you also walked away from that so you could
Yeah.
put your entire dedication
To
into
a startup. Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this startup company.
Yeah.
So I greatly appreciate it. Before we go, any announcement you want to make in terms of if people want to sign up to the
I mean,
platform?
if you are a student, exploring the gig economy, if you are a freelancer, a seasoned freelancer, or just getting started, if you're an entrepreneur, you would love to have a community of support and guidance to help you, start your gigs. If you're a small business owner, you're looking for people to help you with your projects, visit feedcoyote.com or just download the app on iOS and Android and join our community, where you can have a support system, and also you have an entire suite of CRM to help you manage your gigs, from sending contract to all the way to payment processing.
Dr. Stephen Bonhomme, thank you so much for stopping by the podcast. I
Thank you for
greatly
inviting.
appreciate it. Until December 2024.
2024. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. It was very nice chatting with you today, a little bit about my journey and also Feedcoyote.
No, thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Until next time, folks.
And that, dear listeners, wraps up another exhilarating episode of Are You Really Living? We hope you were inspired and learned something new. Remember, life is not just about surviving, it's about truly living, embracing every moment with passion, purpose, and curiosity. Stay curious, stay bold, and most importantly, stay truly alive. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep living your most extraordinary life. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, and share this episode with everyone. Finally, dream big, live boldly, and always ask yourself, are you really living?